celebrating 70 years of coverage you can count on. This is KCBD News Channel 11's Daybreak Today.
Now at 6, a house fire in northwest Lubbock forces residents out of their home. Plus, Texas lawmakers are set to return today for their third special session. We'll tell you what's on the agenda. And pressure is building to fill the position of Speaker of the House. Who could be in line to replace Kevin McCarthy is just ahead. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Today. I'm Angie Wynn. Today's Monday, October 9th, also Columbus Day, a national holiday, which means some schools have the day off, some federal offices are closed, but many of us still need to prepare for the day. Shania Jackson is in for Steve Devine this morning with a look at today's forecast. Hi, Shania.
Good morning, everyone. Temperatures in the lower 50s this morning. Expecting things to get warmer today, getting into the mid 80s. Starting off with a west wind this morning, eventually turning southwest in the afternoon. 84 just around 5 p.m. High temperatures are expected to get up to 85 here in Lubbock, 83 in Levelland, 83 in Dimmitt, 84 in Lamesa, 86 in Jayton, 87 in Guthrie. So really across the area, temperatures staying in that mid 80 range, getting up to some upper 80s off to our east. But other than that, not expecting too much activity overall for this forecast. Now, for these next 3 days, we are going to see temperatures getting just a little bit warmer, 85 for today, then going into tomorrow, staying very similar to what we're seeing today. For your Wednesday, though, 89. Some parts of the viewing area may even see 90s. We start to see those overnight lows jump into the 60s, and then a cold front is going to come through the area. That's going to bring cooler temperatures, maybe a slight chance of rain, but it is going to bring some strong winds as well.
Shania, thank you. Topping news this morning, an investigation is underway into a house fire that started in northwest Lubbock over the weekend. Lubbock fire rescue crews responded to a home near North Topeka Avenue and Amherst Street just after 6:30 last night. They arrived to find the residents had made it out safely. However, 2 dogs were still inside. Firefighters were able to get the pets to safety and quickly put the fire out. No injuries were reported, but the American Red Cross did help the residents displaced by that fire. And a deadly shooting north of Lubbock is also under investigation at this hour. Lubbock County Sheriff's deputies were called to the area of Alma Street and North Boston early Saturday morning. They arrived and found 56-year-old Dickie Ruiz and 46-year-old Andrew Mojica with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital where Ruiz later died. Mojica's injuries are not considered life-threatening. So far, no arrests have been made. We will continue to keep you updated on air and online at kcbd.com. Meanwhile, a man is recovering this morning after he was hit by an SUV on Interstate 27. Lubbock police responded to the crash near 50th Street in the interstate just after 11 Saturday morning. They say 56-year-old John Connolly pulled over on the shoulder of the road to check on his dogs. When he opened the door, one of the dogs jumped out and ran into traffic. Connolly was then hit by an SUV as he tried to catch the dog. He suffered serious injuries but is expected to be okay. In Austin, lawmakers are returning today for the third special session of 2023, and school choice is top priority on the agenda. Governor Greg Abbott's agenda is calling for education savings accounts for school-age children, which would create taxpayer-funded accounts for parents to afford private education. Protesters gathered Saturday to oppose the proposal. Luis de la Garza with the Texas State Teachers Association says tax dollars should be used to provide much-needed help to public schools rather than putting children in private schools.
What it does is it defunds the public school system, and it degrades the ability for educators to budget for the students and for the personnel.
Meanwhile, Austin Representative Caroline Harris says vouchers would give parents a choice on where they can send their child to school.
They know their kids the best, they know what works for them, what doesn't, and so they have decided to make sure their kids get the best education, whether it's public or private, and I think every parent in Texas should be able to have that choice.
Other topics on the agenda include border security, public safety, and prohibiting COVID-19 vaccine restrictions by private employers. Now to a developing story where at least 4 American citizens are confirmed dead from the Hamas attack on Israel, with that number expected to rise as conflict continues. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. is working overtime to verify reports of other missing and dead Americans. The identities of the 4 confirmed dead U.S. citizens have not been made public. Meanwhile, more than 700 Israelis have been killed in the attack so far, and more than 2,000 are injured. The Israeli Prime Minister's office also says more than 100 people have been taken hostage by the terrorist group. And as Congress returns to Washington this week, pressure is mounting for House Republicans as they still need to find a replacement for ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Reed Binion reports.
I really do hope that the House can come together.
Senator Mark Wayne Mullen echoing the sentiment of many fellow Republicans as the GOP races to find a new House Speaker after Kevin McCarthy's historic ouster last week. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise of Louisiana and Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan are the two candidates vying to replace McCarthy. They're set to make their pitches to fellow Republicans at a closed party conference discussion Monday, followed by a candidate forum Tuesday and an internal election Wednesday. Jordan says at the forum he'll lay out his plan to address the government funding deadline, which falls on November 17th. It's not yet clear when the full House floor vote for Speaker will happen. That depends on whether moderate Republicans can rally around Scalise or Jordan, who are both from more conservative districts. The most influential person not voting has already made his preference clear, former President Trump endorsing Jordan. The need to elect a new House Speaker growing even more urgent as the U.S. works to come to the aid of Israel amid the unprecedented brutal attacks by Hamas.
We need to make sure that they have all the resources and equipment necessary to defend themselves, to protect themselves, and protect the Israeli people.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
This is the First Alert Forecast with Shania Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a great start to your Monday morning so far. Temperatures in the lower 50s this morning. We are expecting lots of sunshine in today's forecast. Wind speeds are going to be very light, just around 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll have a west wind this morning, eventually turning into a southwest wind as we're moving into the afternoon and evening hours. Now, high temperatures across the area are going to be just a bit warmer today. 85 for us here in Lubbock, getting into some upper 80s. Off to the east, 87 in Guthrie, and then lower 80s off to our west. 83 in Morton, 82 in Lovington. Still a warmer day all across the forecast area. Wind speeds, like I said, staying light, just between 5 to 10 miles per hour, possibly getting a little bit breezier in the later parts of our work week, starting on Wednesday, really getting above that 15 mile per hour mark. And then as we're moving into Thursday, Friday, cold front comes through, bringing very breezy conditions, possibly seeing gusts up to 40, 45 miles per hour. Rain chances extremely slim in this forecast, not really expecting any type of moisture, maybe an isolated shower later on this evening off to the northwest, but for the most part things are expected to stay dry across the entire area. And then once we get to Thursday, when that cold front comes through, it may bring a little bit of moisture, but it's really expected to be a dry front, so no rain expected to be associated with that cold front coming through. Your 7-day forecast has temperatures in the 80s for these next few days, starting off in the 50s, 85 for your high today, getting into Wednesday, upper 80s, possibly some 90s. Thursday to Friday also bringing breezy conditions, like I said, with that cold front, and then that cold front comes through on Friday, dropping temperatures down into the 70s for your Friday, possibly seeing upper 60s, and then going into the weekend, things are staying cooler as well.
Thank you, Shania. Still to come on Daybreak today, coaches on NBC's The Voice talk about their first season without longstanding coach Blake Shelton. Plus, a Texas Tech professor says prices are looking good in the cotton and cattle markets. That's ahead in this week's Focus on Ag. It's 6:08. Stay with us. You're watching Daybreak today on KCBD News Channel 11.